And so we want to talk a little bit because there have been athletes in the association that have done a lot of activism. And we want to talk a little bit about that, but we want to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification button first so that you can get all our content. But Ken, it's Black History Month. Let's talk a little bit about some maybe some historical figures that have made an impact in and outside of the NBA.
Sure. Let's start off with Bill Russell, um, 11-time NBA champion, um, a big proponent for civil rights, and a person who even marched with Martin Luther King. Mike, I was just doing some research, and the thing that kind of stood out for me was that um, Bill was at a place, I'll say location in Boston where, you know, folks broke into his home, ransacked it. He went through a lot just for speaking out for civil rights. And the thing about it is that he kind of refused to back down. And you figure that, Mike, that let's just say if Bill was playing and doing what he's doing what he did back then, if he was doing that now, how a team would just appreciate that, standing up for other people's rights.
Mm-hmm.
But, back during that day, Boston was, I'll say, probably um, top five as far as, not a place to live for African Americans. A lot of racism, and things like that. But the other thing that kind of I saw was that in 1961 he boycotted an exhibition game after not getting served in Louisville, Kentucky. Him and some other African American players, and he just said, "We're not playing tonight." And we've seen where we've had progress since the 60s, but to do that back then, Mike, that's to me that's incredible. Still with Muhammad Ali when he refused to be inducted to the US Army for the Vietnam War, it was Bill at the time, Lou Alcindor, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, famous picture where they're all sitting together just supporting Ali. And I just think that, Mike, we have to give it to him, a big champion of civil rights. And we all, we see Bill before he passed away, at the finals, that he would pass out the MVP trophy. Mike, he was the MVP for the NBA for a long time. And the thing about it is that he was the first black head coach in a major sport. And then back in 2011, he received the Presidential Medal of Honor of Freedom from former President Barack Obama for just being one of the, let's just say, top 50 players in the league and for his commitment to civil rights. So you couldn't ask them more for a player like that. Your thoughts, Mike?
No, I think you said it all, man. I mean, there's nothing to add to, the great career. Russell is basketball royalty. He played
Oh
at a
yeah.
time where it was dangerous for blacks to travel. But other athletes shared in that same sort of era. You got of course, the Jim Browns. The Satchel Pages, and across they face all that color barrier, and he was one of them. And Ken, no, you said it. You said it correctly. He was someone that set the standard for how black athletes should stand up, organize, and really, challenge the system. And
Oh,
but those were different dudes then. Those were different cats, man. And they wouldn't, they,
built a different way.
they didn't have, social media and branding, and they didn't think about. I mean, anybody in Mr. Russell's position could not be thinking about themselves. You feel me? Because he had everything to lose. And if he had a fail, what would have happened to the blacks that came after him? So he had a lot to lose. I just tip my hat to him and others, and yes, he is the standard. And just one. I mean, we can. I mean, we know what Kareem. We know you can toss out people like Craig Hodges, man, and the things
Yeah.
that he did as well. I mean, but to me, one guy that I really think that never really gets and I think a guy that is also left, I want to say to what we want to say the whims of history in which people forget and never talk about, but that is Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Chris
Played for the
Johnson,
Denver
right?
Nuggets. Yeah.
Um, and we know he was the first one. He was before Kaepernick. I mean, he was the first one that refused to stand for the national anthem in 1996, and we do know he did it for to stand up against oppression and injustice. And he used to sit there and pray during the national anthem, and we realized what happened. He was suspended and fined by the
Right.
NBA, and he basically lost his career. And if for you people who do not know who Mahmoud Abdul Rauf is, you need to go out there and watch some film on this brother.
Yeah.
When you talk about, he could have had, I mean, just like Kaepernick, his career was cut short by the fact that he stood up for his beliefs, and he stood up for the things that were going on in the world, the injustices that were happening in the United States, and he paid the price. Um, I don't, I would like to say that we have that sort of mentality in the game today. There are athletes across the board that do stand up and say things, but what price are you willing to pay? Because they're making a lot of money, Ken.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't stand up and be that dog against injustice and be on the State Farm commercial. You can't do that and be. And I mean, the GOAT even recognized that. What did he say? Republicans buy Nikes too, which I thought, nah, bro, don't say that. But anyway, I'm gonna say it, man. I don't. It's easier today because these athletes have platforms, Ken, to speak out. But I mean, most people today are reactionary. Most people, most something happens, then they stand up. Where are the champions in the world that are trying to, we want to say, carve out new areas for, especially specifically to the NBA for players? Who's taking the charge up as we get into this anti-taking? Was it not Victor who took the All-Star game serious?
Yeah. And it was.
Okay.
And the thing about it, Mike, I think a lot of players followed his, let's just say his direction that we're gonna play this game competitive, and we saw a better game or better games. I'll put it that way, from the players. Um, Kawhi, had a great game as far as what he could do. Ant-Man had played well, MVP. So it was just a better overall appearance of the NBA. And I think, if they want to increase viewership, you're gonna have to do this. That I just don't know, I can't say when the All-Star games kind of, let's just say, fell apart, but now, after this past weekend, I think it's a good sign. So we'll see what happens.
Well, like I say, I didn't watch it, but I saw some clips of him talking, and I heard some analysis of how serious he was about it, and that's good to hear. And it goes back to what I was just saying, Ken, about leadership. You had these guys in the league. You had the Russells, you had the Kareems, you had the Mahmouds, you had people in the league that throughout the years took a stand against things, stood up. We didn't even talk about Oscar Robertson and the
Oh
things that he
man,
done. We didn't even get into that, but you
right.
look at Junior Bridgman, you look at all of these cats, right, that have done remarkable things and still have stood up for injustices and oppression. And I don't know. I don't see. I'm just sorry. I don't see. This is. Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, where is? I mean, again, I'm not knocking anyone that has a
Ooh.
turkey drive, a coat drive, or anyone that does anything. We know that LeBron has I Promise School. We know all. I'm not. I'm just saying, man. I just think, that spirit of until we all make it, none of us have made it. And I think
I get you.
until
Yeah,
and
that's a
those
great point.
with the money, with the resources. I mean, it's like the hip hop artist that comes down through Thanksgiving and gives out turkeys. Why don't you, start some entrepreneurship in the community where they don't have to. You ain't got to give out turkey. They selling turkeys.
Yeah,
You
I
understand what I'm
got you.
saying? Like where we at? And I'm not knocking that because the community needs that, and I'm thankful that we have rappers, hip hop artists, you know actors, whatever, coming back
Right.
and doing those things. But I just think, man, when you look at Russell and you look at some of these great iconic people, I mean, they led the conversation on a lot of these things, and they were not always reactionary. Sometimes they were proactive, and so shout out, man, to every black athlete that is out there, minority athlete that is out there that is willing to stand up and stand for something, and regardless of what they may lose. I've read somewhere in the book it said, Ken, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world? To lose his own soul, Ken.
Yeah.
In closing, brother, Black History Month, what are your thoughts, man?
Mike, the thing that we'll try to emphasize on this point is that you know a person like Bill Russell, who I'm going to came from meager means as far as that's concerned, spent a lot of time in the NBA and just fought for everybody, not just for himself, but fought for everyone. So you have to tip your cap to him, and we just have to be encouraged by what he did, and maybe more athletes will, take that torch and move forward.
We can only hope. We can only hope. So, Ken, let's transition to um, this tanking. And folks, I mean, think about it. Think about what tanking is. Tanking is you are trying to lose.
Lose.
You're not trying to win. And it's a shame that can we even have this is a professional sport where people are getting paid millions of dollars, and fans are coming out, and the passion, the joy of victory, the pain of defeat.
Okay, ABC.
And then to think about your team literally trying to lose right in front of you. And the teams in question are, of course, the Utah Jazz, the
Mm.
Washington Wizards, the Sacramento Kings, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Indiana Pacers. So I'm not saying that, I'm just saying this is what it's looking like with some of these teams and some of these games. And it's gotten so bad to the point that the commissioner has got to address it. So, Ken, it is bad when
Yeah.
because the commission don't want to address nothing. He just want things to Adam want things to run smoothly. Everybody doing so when it's like it's like the CEO, right? He don't want to address the assembly. He just want the
Right.
department heads, the supervisor, everybody do what they need to do. But when he got to step in, Ken, we know that it is a legitimate problem. What say you, Ken?
Mike, let's start off this way. Utah, they were fined a $500,000. Indiana, they were fined a $500,000. So Commissioner Silver, when he had to step in, as you say, Mike, to say we're going to address this topic, in the off season and, put some things in place as far as, tanking is concerned. My whole thing is this, Mike, you're you're a basketball player who makes millions of dollars, as you said before, and you have franchises who are trying to tank to get a better, let's just say, seed as far as the lottery is concerned. This is just my philosophy. You compete as much as as best you can with what you got to hold veteran players out of in the fourth quarter in games that are close. It's making it makes gives you the, I'll say, the vision that these gambling institutions have more influence on the game than you do as a coach or or general manager. So the thing about it is that this is not good for the NBA. It's kind of like, is this fixed or not? Because you got all types of bets out there. How many minutes is a player going to play? How many points is he going to score? How many rebounds? Is he going to start or is he going to sit out?
How many times does he blink?
That too. So, and the thing about it, Mike, is that these teams are aware of this, and Adam Silver is aware of it also.
Yeah.
So when you don't have to go to Vegas anymore. You can do it on your phone as far as the gambling portion of it, and this is making the NBA look like it's being controlled by these gambling institutions or companies. I'll put it that way.
Well, to me, you can easily solve this. If you are found out to be tanking, you lose all your draft picks.
Ooh.
You're not in the lottery. Ken, this is so serious because what you're doing is you're cheating.
Okay.
This is the integrity of the if in two NBA teams are to play tonight and one says we're going to lose, why even have an NBA league? If both teams are not going to go out there and try to win the game, why even watch basketball? I mean, this hits at the integrity of the game. You're telling me that I have watched Sacramento play and they intentionally lost while I was watching them. Ken, that's an insult to fans. It's an insult to anyone that has loved the game of basketball. It's an insult to anyone who has desired to even be at any type of level playing good basketball. These people are quitting. Basically, that's what it is, quitting.
Yeah.
But they're still getting paid. So listen, this is where you saw that. If you found taking, you lose all. For that year, you lose every draft pick you got. I guarantee you, Ken, that would stop the tanking ASAP. All this other, we got to find you this, and maybe we restrict your pick. No, because listen, Adam, you are allowing for them to damage the reputation of the game by cheating. And Ken, as you say, if I'm gambling and I know this team is tanking, what do I know? This guy is not gonna. Well, is he gonna get his average? Probably not, because they tanking, so they're gonna take him out. He's probably only gonna pay 20 minutes. So I'm about to make some money. It corrupts the entire game. And what I'm saying is, this idea that this needs to wait till the off season, I think that's terrible. Ken. And I have always been skeptical of the lottery anyway, because the worst teams don't get the best players anyway. It's almost like a setup to me anyway. Luka leaves Dallas, and what happens? Dallas gets the number one pick. Come on, Ken. Do we really believe that just happened? Like, yes, I'm questioning the integrity of the lottery system. Okay, and now I can even question the integrity of the game, because people are taking. How can I not question whether a team is tanking or not, man? I don't know. Did the Bucks tank tonight? I don't know. Are they
So
tanking? Who knows? Can you when you don't know, then the
you got a
integrity of the
question,
play's gone. You know,
right?
Ken, it's like that relationship, right? You don't know if she's straight with you. You hoping she is, but you don't know whether she's stepping out on you. No, that's not good, Ken. It's not
I'm going
good.
by my girlfriend's house. Let me
That's what
stop.
I'm saying. Listen, it's not good, Ken. Come on, man. This is horrible for the NBA. I don't know whether or not I'm watching the team that is playing as hard as they can to win. I'm watching a team that's just going through the motion and they hoping they're gonna get some draft pick. And what's so ridiculous? Let me ask you a question. When was the last draft pick that took an NBA team to the finals? We got to go way back to when.
Yeah.
We got to go back to Magic. And but listen here, listen to this, Ken. Who was on that team? So we really can't even say Magic because you had Kareem, you had
Cream.
Worthy, you had a serious squad. What rookie has come in, put a team on their back, and taken them to the championship?
Shoot, Mike, you have to go even back farther than that. I'm going to say when Kareem first came in the league, he took Milwaukee maybe a year after or a year or two after to a championship, won the championship with
And how many Kareems have we had? Oh,
Not
okay.
many.
See, this is what I'm trying to say. Like even the odds of you getting a number one pick, Orlando. Has Orlando been to the conference finals since Paolo?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. Like to me, is Cooper Flag, is Dallas gonna go to the finals?
No.
Dallas not gonna even make the playoffs. So what I'm saying is, even the this is what I don't understand, the man. I think it's more about let's get a number one pick so we can get folks in the seats.
But Mike, let me say this: is that when Cleveland drafted LeBron, they tanked that year. They shut it down.
Absolutely.
And so that they had a better chance to get LeBron. The thing that that I heard someone say that the NBA should get rid of the draft and let the people who are, let's just say, want to get it, or let's just say become free agents. They want, instead of having players being in the draft, they want everyone to be a free agent. And then the thing, my whole thing is that most of these players will want to go to large market teams. The small market teams won't, they may pick up a few. So how is that going to benefit the NBA?
Ken, all I said is this. This is where you solve it. You get caught tanking, all your picks are gone for that year. That's all. That's all you have to do. It will. Imagine trying to tank a whole year and to get to the time where the draft comes and you have 0 picks and everybody else is picking. That is enough to get an organization's attention, and I guarantee you tanking will be over because they live to get up in that lottery pick. Because again, Ken, it doesn't add to wins right away. It might add to wins in a couple of years. It might, if you're lucky. I mean, how many LeBron Jameses are out there?
No.
Come on. Those are special dudes. How many Jordans out there? Them are special cats that come along. But how long did it take even Mike to turn Chicago around?
Oh, 7, 8 years maybe.
Thank you. Okay, he was Detroit was thumping on his head, right? He had to come through that, right? So what I'm saying is the idea that I need to get someone that's I can build around. Man, listen, today's NBA, the team's got to be built differently. You have to go with mid-level players. No longer can you have this one. Two things can't happen. You cannot just have one guy that you're building your team around, or you can't have this 3-headed monster. We've seen that. Economically, it doesn't work. It doesn't get the wins. And also having one guy, when he's injured, we know what time it is, Milwaukee Bucks. When he's injured, then what do? No, you have to build a roster, man, that is like Detroit, right? Where you have various various positions where people can be aggressive and score and play defense. You look at OKC. OKC is the same thing. Various people can do great things on the court offensively and defensively. Yes, do they have two all-stars? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
You need a Robin and a Batman. That's what you need, a Robin and a Batman, and you need dynamic role players. That's how you build. You don't build it off of rookies. I'm just going to say that. Was that DJ with Philadelphia? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dynamic young player. Is he going to be cold? Yeah, he's going to be. But that's the big thing, going to be. Okay, like you're not gonna build a team around him, man. He's a nice compliment. He's cold-blooded. Cooper Flag. Well, I can tell you what, Dallas fans, it's gonna be a minute before y'all even, man, because you got them San Antonio boys over there. You got OKC. You got Minnesota. Man, come on, man. You got Denver. Listen,
it's gonna be a while.
And trying to build off the whole premise of it is wrong. Hit them in the pocket. All your picks are gone. We'll solve the problem. We move on.
I get what you're saying, Mike. But the thing about it is, I see the NBA maybe doing it more as far as fines. Then they may take a let's just say a team hypothetically is picking number 5. They say, okay, you've been taking, so now you go from 5 to 30th. As far as the first round pick is concerned.
But why do you deserve to get anything when you cheat? That's all I'm saying. Why do you?
What you're saying.
I mean, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. We can't go in and cheat on the job.
That's true.
You're supposed to be in a job. And I'll tell you what, when they talk about this load management, I'm telling you like this. Man. You can have a contract, but your contract should be based upon how many times you play.
Mike, messing with folks' money now.
That's what I'm saying. That's the rest of the world, okay? You only get paid for what you work for in the rest of the world. Why is it different in sports? What I'm saying, if we really want to clean up the NBA and we want to have a serious conversation about it, load management has been a problem for years. It has cheated fans and it's cheated the game.
Oh, definitely.
Tanking has been a problem for years. Folks were tanking before the All-Star game. Are you serious, Ken? This is a problem for the game. And if you want to clean it up, I know you just got that big TV contract. Let me tell you where the NBA better be careful, Ken. They better be more concerned about the long growth of the NBA than its present condition. You understand what I'm saying, Ken? You know this, Ken. You're a financial guy. You know this. You got to be worried about the future, right? You can be concerned about today, but you got to build for the future, man. And what they're doing, they are high on the hog, man, with all this money flowing in, this gambling money flowing in and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you lose the integrity of the game and people don't want to watch and people want to tune in, see what happens. This was probably one of the lowest All-Star games being watched in I don't know how long. Tell me, was it?
I think the viewership did increase, Mike, as far as this past All-Star games. You got to remember that All-Star games, which I just don't understand, but that's a whole nother show. But no, it increased as far as viewership is concerned. But the thing that I'm concerned about the NBA is what you just said, Mike, the integrity of the game. So if fans feel like, this game can go, let's just say, south as far as the integrity is concerned, they're going to stop watching. And that's not good for the players, owners, the franchises. So I just think that, they do need to address it as far as I'm concerned right now, get this under control and move forward.
Oh, man. Ken, I don't know. Like I say, they're not listening to me. They don't care what I got to say, but I do know, I do question teams whether or not they are competing the way they should, or whether or not they really care, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think the integrity of the game is under question. Not with all teams. They're not with all players. They're players that come out, they're going to play every night. They're going to give you 110%. There's some franchises that are going to give you 110%, but there are some, Ken. What they say about one bad apple? Spoiled a whole bunch. But Ken, last word.
Mike, so we talk about the NBA, we talk about basketball. So my last comment is tip my hat off to the USA hockey teams, the men and women who both won gold medals against Canada. Same score, 2-1 in both scenarios. So let's tip our hats off to them. So that's my final word.
All right, folks, you heard it. The world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.